And if we kind of just look at this looks really bearish, which means this has still got room to fall, which means the greater market still has room to go up. Today, we've got the stock market actually opening higher. I always look for things that, if something's going to open higher, I look for things that I want to sell. If something's opening weaker, I want to look at things that I want to buy. Right now, everything's kind of in the middle. I can't really find fantastic arbitrage opportunities. I have this chart right now of Restoration Hardware. This is something that I've been talking about over the last couple of weeks. I took a lot of pokes at it last week. So we've been watching Restoration Hardware trade within this channel. And then you can see last week, we started to break out above this channel. Now, sometimes, obviously, these fake outs or are they breakouts? I feel like this still has some legs. The nearest resistance is around the $310 area. So we still have probably about $20 to run here before we see any resistance. So I'm just watching this breakout here. I've been reasonably skeptical of these breakouts, but for right now, the way this thing closed, I feel if we take out last week's high above this 291 area, I think this thing could be a runner. So this is RH, Restoration Hardware. And I've been watching this. I took a number of pot shots at it last week and didn't quite get going. But sometimes these things play possum. And I just like the way this thing is just kind of coming out here. And, we also had a key reversal on Friday, a very mini one, a very slight one where you kind of went lower, closed toward the high of the bar. And again, you can see that for 3 straight days, we kind of just stalled at this 291 area. But I feel like if you put in you can get this thing at 291 or 292, I think there's room to run above here. So Restoration Hardware is something that I've been looking at, I've been focusing on. It's hard to tell where it's going to open right now. The bid ask is very wide. This is, very, I think a thinly traded stock, and it's just the bid ask is all over the place. But so this is very volatile. But I do think that there are all kinds of things to say. We're trading in this channel. Maybe we take a poke back down here. The market confirms itself. Either it's going to do it or it's going to roll over. But it's going to do something pretty soon. I'm also looking at in the context that you've got this mini kind of double bottom, cup and handle, inverted head and shoulders. Now, it would really have to clear, say, above here. But, we're sitting really on this neckline right now of this double touch. So I just feel like this thing wants to run. I would certainly put a buy stop here at 291, 292, and you could put a sell stop at last week's high low at 282. So I think that this feels like this wants to break out. This is my most favored nation status stock on the long side. This is the HYG. This is the core high yield corporate bond market. It's very important to equities. And actually, so everybody thinks, well, rates are going, up. The Fed said, rates are going up and they're raising rates, but, there are other market rates. When the Fed talks about the rates, they talk about the Fed funds rate. And yes, the Fed funds rate is going up, but all these other rates are actually going lower. So now we see this HYG kind of like breaking out. This is like Restoration Hardware, where you're seeing these mini breakouts. And again, I don't know if these breakouts are going to be fake outs or they're going to take off. But again, I just look and see how markets close within the context of their patterns. So you can see that on Friday we made a new low, closed at the high. I bought right into this sell-off. So on Friday we had a very favorable jobs report, which put a lot of pressure on the credit markets. And based on the way this pattern is, I just bought call options right into that sell-off. So, sometimes the news looks all hysterical, and that's why we just got to keep our eye on what the bigger picture is. And right now, the bigger picture tells me this thing is breaking out. We always look at the ascending broadening pattern. This is a descending broadening pattern. And to me, the implications are that this should go higher. Now, again, there's all kinds of possibilities that, we get here and we have a fake out. And I'm kind of on the guard for this, but right now the market is telling me that we're breaking out. This is what the dollar yen looked like before it went on a huge sprint. So I'm just objective. I bought these things. They look like they're coming in higher, pretty, actually quite higher right now. So you can see these HYGs close at 78. I bought them around 77.60. I bought the call options, and I bought the 78.50 call options, I think, for this week. So you can see that we're opening quite a bit higher. That is a big move for these little credit markets. And you can see, this QDEL is about unchanged. And then Restoration Hardware, where is that thing? It's got a huge spread. You can never see when this thing's, I would put a bid in Restoration Hardware at like 291 or better. Napoleon says, what do I think about IGV? Napoleon, I've been looking at, all of these market indexes. I look at the inverse, and I've been looking at these inverse ETFs, and this is kind of the opposite of the HYG. This is the FAZ, and it's an inverse triple bearish ETF. And when I look at this inverse, this is the opposite, right? This goes in the opposite direction of the general market. So this is the opposite of the HYG. This is an ascending broadening, which is inherently bearish. And when we look at these patterns, to me, the patterns really should come back to the beginning. So this suggests that this needs to fall quite a bit, which means that the market still has a lot of room to go on the upside. So as bearish as I might be, there's a lot of things that are indicating this market still has room to run on the upside. And if we kind of just look at this looks really bearish, which means this has still got room to fall, which means the greater market still has room to go up. I kind of try and look at the markets from all these different perspectives, and empirically, this market looks like it wants to go higher.
So you can see, 45 is 1.3 million.
$1.3 million short.
So pop out a profit for 118,000 there.
So you can see how this is going crazy now. You can see how the market's just going nuts.
I bet like $1.6 million on this position. I'm showing right now $23,000 gain.